What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a super exciting Liverpool transfer news video. So yesterday it was announced that Virgil van Dijk will get surgery on his ACL injury, so he could be out for the season. Maybe he will get back before the end of the season, but Liverpool absolutely have to sign a brand new centre-back. And the Liverpool Echo, the Liverpool-based newspaper well connected to the football club, says that RB Leipzig's Dio Upamecano is on Liverpool's radar, and we want to bring in a very talented young centre-back who could not just come in for Virgil van Dijk, but maybe replace him and Joel Matip long term. Matip is also 29 and Van Dijk is 29. He will be 30 by the time he gets back from his injury. And we don't know if he will recover 100% and he will be at the peak of his powers after his injury. Let's hope it is the case. But the Bild is reporting, who is a very reliable German newspaper, the Upamecano has a 40 million euro release clause, which is just 36 million pounds, which can be activated at the end of the season. But if Liverpool tell Leipzig, I'm giving you 40 million pounds in January, give us Upamecano, I think they will do a deal because they will earn more money for him than in the summer. And Upamecano, I think, would love to join Liverpool. So in this video we will take a deeper look at Upamecano and what he could bring to Liverpool. And guys, let me know, who do you want to sign for Liverpool in the January transfer window, and leave a like on this video if you enjoy these Liverpool transfer news episodes, and subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on the bell notifications so you never miss the latest uploads, and turn on the YouTube notifications as well. Upamecano is just 21 years old and he was an ever-present for Leipzig last season. Leipzig made the Champions League semi-finals and Upamecano was absolutely amazing in the Champions League, and also they have been in and around the Bundesliga title race for the past 2 or 3 seasons. Leipzig started the season very well, again with Upamecano in the heart of the Leipzig defense, and he already played 116 games for Leipzig, and in total he has already 155 appearances in professional football. And considering that he's only 21 years old, that's a lot of games. And also he is a France international. He has played already 3 games for France, and he even scored lately in September against Croatia in France's 4-2 victory against Croatia in a rerun of the World Cup final. And Upamecano is a winner. He was part of the UEFA European Under-17 side, which won the championship, the European Championship, with France in 2015, and he was of course in the team of the tournament, and he also was in the Champions League squad of the season for last season as well. And of course Liverpool are already used to dealing with the Salzburg and our Leipzig, the Red Bull group if you want to call them that, because we signed Naby Keita from Leipzig, we signed Minamino from Salzburg, and this good relationship, which appears to exist, could prove vital in giving Liverpool a head start against other clubs if they decide to move for Upamecano. A look at his statistics shows why it easily could be. One of his great strengths is his ability to be progressive and bring the ball up the field. Of players who featured for at least 2,250 minutes in one of Europe's big leagues, big 5 leagues, only 3 players carried the ball a greater distance per 90 minutes played than Upamecano. That is absolutely staggering. There were only 8 players in the top 5 leagues who moved the ball further towards the opposition goal too, and none of them were centre-backs apart from Manchester City's standing centre-back Fernandinho. This was reflected in the dribbling statistics. Only 12 players in the top leagues who attempted 30 dribbles were successful, with a greater proportion of them than Upamecano was. I'm actually surprised by that only 12 players in the top 5 leagues who attempted 30 dribbles were more successful. And of course one of them was Thiago Alcantara, which is not really a surprise. Remember how Joel Matip sometimes charges into the opposition half with the ball, but he's then unsure about what best to do with it once he gets there? The same can't be said of Upamecano. He was ranked 24th in the big leagues for passes into the final third per 90 minutes last season. Only 4 defenders were ahead of him in the ranking. That is absolutely amazing, and I I'm fully behind this, that Upamecano should be a Liverpool player come January the 1st. And RB Leipzig is a pressing team, and Upamecano is very good at pressing opponents, which once again marks him down as a potential Liverpool player. His pressing success rate, which is in part a function of team tactics, as it relies upon a player's team regaining possession within 5 seconds. He was the 7th best in England, France, Germany, Italy or Spain last season. Only one of the players above him, which is Alphonso Davies of Bayern, attempted more pressures than he did. And while these might be, of course, the more attractive aspects of defensive play, he has also demonstrated his ability to deal with the proper defending part. At 6'2" tall, he is dominant in the air, winning 81% of his aerial duels he contested in the 18-19 season. That success rate has dropped to 66% in last season and this season, but his potential is undoubtedly clear for all to see. If Upamecano has a good campaign this season, he might find himself on his way to Liverpool as early as January, but definitely next summer. And I think Upamecano would be an upgrade on Gomez and Matip. Of course, he's not as good as Van Dijk, but Van Dijk is the best defender in the world, and Liverpool will be without him until the summer. So we need really players who can come in and improve Liverpool's defense, and I think Upamecano is the perfect player to do that. And there is evidence that Liverpool were looking at bringing in a centre-back this summer. We looked at Brighton's Ben White, who was on loan at Leeds United last season, and he started this season really well with Brighton. Brighton wanted an astronomical fee for Ben White, so Liverpool said we are not paying that. And Red Bull Salzburg boss Jesse Marsch already identified Upamecano as being a perfect option for Liverpool. Any centre-back that is signed by Liverpool has to be dominant, regardless of whether or not he is good with the ball. He has to be dominant when it comes to being able to bully whoever he is facing. Pep Lijnders sums it up perfectly. As a pressing team, you have to accept a lot of long balls and second balls, so it is important to have centre-backs who are good in the air. One of the biggest factors for Liverpool as centre-back is aerial dominance, and that is weighted quite heavily in the recruitment process. If you are looking for the heir of Van Dijk, or another club wants their own version of Van Dijk, Upamecano is a top player and he's a dominant player on the floor and in the air. And I think that Liverpool will start working on this deal now that we know the full extent of Van Dijk's injury. Last season in Europe's top 5 leagues, there were 95 players who played over 1,000 minutes at centre-back and were under the age of 25. Gomez ranked 24th for aerial success and 53rd for defensive duel success. You can't look slowly on numbers when it comes to defenders, and if you watch Gomez, he's in control most of the time and he's faster than most centre-backs, which is a factor when you are using high line. He gets caught out every now and again, but I'm not concerned about him. He will spend his whole career at Liverpool, hopefully. But signing Upamecano would not mean the end of Gomez. They would simply be options for Jurgen Klopp to pick from, and when Van Dijk was to reach a stage of being phased out, then Upamecano and Joe Gomez could become the first choice centre-back pairing. And at £36 million, Upamecano would be the kind of bargain purchase that Liverpool love to exploit in the transfer market, available for a price which is far lower than his market value. I'm saying that Upamecano is as good as Maguire or Koulibaly or other defenders. Maybe not as experienced, but he's definitely physically, I think he's already better than Maguire. That's not saying much, I know, because Maguire started the season absolutely horrendously. And also just think about what kind of transfer fees the other Premier League clubs paid for defenders. Nathan Ake cost £40 million. Ruben Dias from Benfica cost £60 million. Chelsea paid around £45 million for Ben Chilwell, maybe even £50 million. So Upamecano for £36 million is an absolute bargain. But even if we pay £40 million for him, Upamecano is a much better defender than Nathan Ake, and Upamecano is going to be the first choice France national team centre-back in a few years, when Varane is phased out, for example. So Upamecano, I think, is a great option for Liverpool. And Van Dijk posted a personal note on his Twitter after it was revealed by Liverpool that he requires surgery, and this is what Van Dijk said. This afternoon I met with a leading consultant to start the process of planning the finer details of my rehabilitation following the incident. I'm now fully focused on my recovery, and I will do everything I can to be back as quickly as possible. Despite the obvious disappointment, I'm a firm believer that within difficulty lies opportunity, and with God's help I'm going to make sure I return better, fitter and stronger than ever before. In football, as in life, I believe everything happens for a reason, and it's important to try and keep level-headed, whether going through the highs or the lows. With the support of my wife, kids, family and everyone at Liverpool, I'm ready for the challenge ahead. I would like to thank everyone for the messages of support. It's meant a huge amount to me and my family, and I will now be doing everything possible to support my teammates in any way I can ahead of a big few weeks ahead as I take my own recovery day by day. I will be back, just like the Terminator, Van Dijk said, and that's a really classy message by Van Dijk, and I'm super looking forward to him getting back to full fitness at Liverpool. And it already started. Joel Matip and Joe Gomez are injury prone, and the goal.com website posted an article that Joel Matip is a doubt for Ajax Liverpool. On Wednesday, he underwent a scan after completing his first 90 minutes this year against Everton. The good news is that no major issue was detected. Liverpool will tread with caution knowing Matip's injury history and may choose to leave him out against Ajax. I think we might play with Fabinho and Joe Gomez in the centre-back spot, but that's the problem. Like, Matip hasn't played consecutive games for like over a year, and we need to really be careful with him, because if he is out for another 1 or 2 or 3 months, then what do? We will have just one fit centre-back, Joe Gomez, and the others are either youngsters or Fabinho or Henderson. So Liverpool will have to be careful, and I think now Jurgen Klopp might regret not buying a centre-back in the summer, but we can rectify that in January by buying Upamecano. And finally, some positive news. It looks like that Thiago is walking and he's fine. There was a video emerging of Thiago walking out of a hospital after some scans being done, and the fact that he's walking without crutches means that his injury is not as serious. And also, very good news, Alisson, our goalkeeper, will return to training after a shoulder injury this week, which is well ahead of schedule. It looked like that he will miss 4 to 6 weeks, and he could actually be back maybe for the Sheffield game or maybe after the Sheffield United game. And we have Ajax, Sheffield United, West Ham, Midtjylland. Some games that are hard, but others, I mean, this Ajax game is hard, but Sheffield United, West Ham, Midtjylland at home, that run of games, I think that Liverpool should be good enough to win those, and hopefully that will build confidence and we can settle into a rhythm defensively as well without Van Dijk. Alisson back is absolutely key, and let's hope that he can stay fit for the rest of the season. And former Liverpool defender, Liverpool right back Glenn Johnson said that Fabinho will slot back in at centre back, so missing Van Dijk won't be as big an issue. I'm liking this, that he's optimistic, and I really hope that this is the case. Fabinho was absolutely amazing against Chelsea, where he played at centre-back, against Timo Werner, who is one of the most dangerous players in the Premier League, and he did really well. I personally think it will be Fabinho who slots in there, Johnson said. We saw him do it a couple of weeks ago and he was man of the match, so he could be the one who slots in. As long as he can maintain that sort of level, then I don't think it will be too much of an issue. Teams will show a team like Liverpool respect, so they won't be pressing all the time from the front. You need players at the back who can set the game up, and I think Fabinho can certainly do that, because obviously he's very good on the ball and used to playing in midfield. Of course, they would much rather be going into games with Van Dijk, but I do think Fabinho can step in. He's the number one player Liverpool certainly didn't want to lose. He's one of those players that everyone performs better when he's out there. There is no two ways about it. He will be missed. There is nothing better as an attacking fullback to think, oh, actually, I don't need to run back because I know that Van Dijk is there or John Terry is there. You just know they are going to win the ball. If you look over your shoulder and it's somebody else, then you don't get that confidence, and then you have to be in totally different positions. We have seen it over the years with Trent. Sometimes defensively he's got into some terrible positions, but it doesn't matter because Van Dijk will be mopping up behind him and making it all look very easy. Both fullbacks, we have to change their game slightly, and I think that will be the case, but how much we will see in the coming weeks and months. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you later, guys. Goodbye.